Welcome everyone to Discourse. Today we're going to be reviewing This to Me by Dr. A H Yurvati. Albert H. Yurvati is an emeritus professor at the University of North Texas Health Science Center, Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine. He grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and left for the U.S. Army, where he met his soulmate, Sharon. After medical school, he completed 2 residencies and was an academic cardiothoracic surgeon of national and international renown. When Sharon suffered an acute thrombotic stroke, he transitioned to become a caregiver. In 2020, he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, an incurable cancer of the bone marrow, and he transitioned yet again, this time to a patient. Book 2, This to Me, is a continuation of the influence the fates have had on weaving, cutting, and tying the threads of his life. So this is his second book. It's the follow-up to his first book where he kind of introduces himself. He goes over a lot of his background, his education, and all of his accomplishments to get to this point of his life, how he met his beautiful wife Sharon and their cute love story. I love that. But
I was going to say, don't forget about Sharon.
I know, we can't forget about Sharon, okay? But this one, because he kind of hints at the end of the first book that he was going to write another book with a lot of his interesting cases, which I know both of us were so excited to actually read the second one, because there is nothing better than really cool, interesting medical stories. And honestly, I was given so much more than just interesting curiosities.
Medical stories, especially surgeries and all that. It's disgusting but interesting.
Yeah.
And like, how did he do that? Like, this person should have been dead. Or what was that person doing or thinking?
Oh my God.
And it's short stories. Like, he doesn't go in depth about these patients. Like, very minimal, but he gives you so much.
Yeah,
right?
I really love his writing because I feel like his personality comes across so well. Like, he's just straightforward, to the point. Here's the information. This is what happened. Like, this was the situation. This is what happened, and this is what I did. And now they're great. And then he moves on to the next interesting story. I love it.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, what?
I know.
What did he do? And what is that? Cancer? What's this disease?
I know.
And like, it helps because you have to look it up to find out more. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I feel like he does pretty much lay it out pretty easily for people who don't really know too much of like medical terminology. But there is still terminology that we still needed to like look up and be like, what exactly is that?
Yeah, but that's good because then we learn more and we get to research and be in there with him. It was very crazy.
Yeah, it was super cool. And it's a really quick read too. So it's something that you could just pull out. It's like one of those TV shows you watch, right? Because there's like unsolved mysteries or something like that, and it's super interesting. But I feel like this book is somewhat on like similar lines where you can just pull it out and like read a really cool, interesting medical story.
It's just amazing how patients, how they find Dr. Yurvati. It's not like an everyday doctor, you get your annual checkup. Like, there was this case where a 16-year-old basketball player, a girl, she saw 12 different doctors and they couldn't figure out how she was always had like a shortness of breath and couldn't really play the sport that she loved, and she was just bounced around and all of them recommended something. But after all those, not wasted time, but just going around in circles, she went to Dr. Yurvati and he diagnosed her, checked everything out, and recommended something completely different than what those other doctors had, and voila, she's healed. She went back to playing sports, and I think he said that she clinched 2 national championships and got a college scholarship as well, I believe. That's just amazing. It's because we've all been there. We go to a doctor, it's like, did you even check anything? I know I'm sick. And they just tell you, take this medicine or you're fine, give it time.
Yeah,
12 doctors. And when they went to him, like, he thinks outside the box. He really researches like what did they do, what did they look at, and he looks at things differently. And he also has pictures of some of these patients, or even their x-rays and...
Oh, super cool and interesting. Yeah, he always accompanies a story. I think there's maybe just one that probably didn't have a picture, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like all of the cases, he always has at least like one x-ray or photo of the patient. And it is just awesome because I feel like you can really connect the story to like real life, and that you're like, oh, this is the face, this is the the bones of what he was talking about. Super cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then he talks about it, then he seems to like move on like he did nothing special. It's like,
I know.
what?
And like in the book he even mentions, right, not too many people specialize in this specific field, which is crazy to me, because even just the few cases that he put into the book that he went through, I mean, that's just a couple of like probably hundreds and hundreds of other cases that he's worked on throughout his career. And I just feel like there's only a few of them in the country that specialize in this, and the cases seem like odd cases, or like
not unique, but unique.
These cases are like crazy. And for that young girl to have to go to so many doctors just to finally get an answer after finding Dr. Yurvati, it's like, that's not acceptable.
And then to him, it's like, another patient helped, and good luck with your life. But to her, this is her life. Like, she made scholarships and championships, and
but it speaks to his character, right? That he was put on this earth, like that is his passion, that's his purpose in life. He was put here to help others, to figure the puzzle out, solve it, and then move on to the next one. So for him, I mean, I'm sure he feels like a great sense of pride and joy and all that, but it's almost like, well, okay, yay, but now let's move on to the next thing, because like they need another victory. So
he doesn't just dismiss the patients though. Like, he talks about how connected he is. They text him on his personal phone.
I love
They're
that.
like, I'm back in the hospital. Are you going to be in, or can you see me? And he's like, I'm on my way.
Honestly, working with doctors personally, you never get a doctor who will send a personal message or a text or phone call. Very rarely. And when you do, those are most likely the better doctors. Like the ones that really even like care about your health. But it's so nice when it's the doctor themselves.
The one that cuts you open.
Yeah, it feels like they really care. And he really does. Like, you can tell by the way he talks about these patients and about how he talks about the situations and the cases. And I don't know, just the little things that he does to change someone's recovery, like just with their happiness, not so much their health.
Yeah, and then we have like even international patients, right? Like from the Netherlands. He even treated a Royal Marine who was a sniper. They're always on their chest, so I guess he had complications on his chest, and he was having trouble and missing shots, which is not good for a sniper.
Yeah.
So he was able to help the Royal Marine, and they sent him a cool message back, like, he's back on target. Like, that itself, for the military, man.
I know, it's a big deal. Yeah, I suppose.
He treats it like an everyday thing, like, this is
because
what I offer to these people, and he never gloats.
No.
I think if anything, he gloats on his team, on his students that he raises up.
It's more of the outcome, right?
Not just his patients, but his students, as mentioned, and they graduate and they still reach out to him. And there's a cool quote in the book, actually, about that medical field.
Once in practice, you will be presented with some unusual cases. That's why medicine is an art and science. Yeah, I really like that quote only because it is 100% accurate. He has all this information, all this knowledge, all this, real life experience type of knowledge in his brain. And so he'll come upon these interesting cases and he knows how to help them, not just because of the studying and the knowledge he got from school, but also because he's able to be like, he'll take that knowledge and he'll be able to say, let me think outside the box in a better way or a different way that can give us much better, much more positive results to help this person. It's like you're being creative. You're not just being a science person, or, it's like, it's almost truly like an art form.
In the medical field, a lot of people see black and white. That's probably why those 12 doctors couldn't help that basketball, player. They say, oh no, it's this, is that. I don't know. It's not in the book.
Right. It's not in the book. That's it.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. There's no other options of what to do if it's not in the book.
Yeah. But then he looks at it differently. It's like, like Turtle Man. And it's cool because he has certain nicknames for either the patient or the process, but there's nicknames in the chapters. And there's this Turtle Man where he opened up this patient's ribs and put some beads in there
Uh-huh.
to absorb. Is it to release?
No, yeah, it was like releasing antibiotics to kill like the infection and stuff. And I mean, genius.
What?
Like it was almost like a slow release of antibiotics, so it like helped make the patient better. And he just took the beads out at the end. Like, okay,
Yeah.
what? Like, who thinks of that? That's
Cured,
amazing.
Completely gone.
And then the other dude with the nails, like constantly, what was he doing? Swallowing them or something? I don't even know. He doesn't really go into like how these objects continuously ended up into his body, and he had to keep removing them or send them off to somewhere else to get them removed.
Get them good enough. So.
I'm just like, what is going on with our society? Do we really have to be inhaling or ingesting all these horrible chemicals and objects? We need more of these specialists. That's all I gotta say.
Another doctor told him he needed more iron in his body. So.
Oh my God! No, he didn't. He did not. That's funny. That was funny. Hey, let it be noted, Abel made a good joke. That was funny.
And we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it on a high note. He's like, Abel, let's end it. It's a high note for Abel. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and be sure to check out This to Me by Dr. A H Yurvati.